We got Sam Alvey back on the program. Usually we'd be talking about an upcoming fight, but the whole card got canceled. We talked earlier, a couple months ago, you're like, yeah, put me on the Manchester card for Henderson's last fight. I want to be on the card. I'm part of his team. I'm ready to go. Like, it would be a great event. They had you fighting a week later. They could have easily put you on the Manchester card. You would have fought last night. It would have been, it would have been fine. Everything would have worked out correctly. You would have saw Dan's last fight live, which is what you wanted to do. Instead, they put you on the Manila card. Now there's no fight. That first is because BJ pulled out, but then we heard some weird stuff coming out that they were trying to drug test everybody, not just the fighters. Yeah. Everybody that came on. The riggers, the guys that put the cage together, all the back end guys, the PR people. They were going to drug test everybody. The new president of the Philippines is like, he's trying to eradicate drugs. Makes sense. But I got to be honest, I don't know how many of those guys would have passed.
Yeah, I've been looking into this president a little bit. He's a dangerous guy. Like, he's got if somebody's caught with drugs, they're just executed. They're not tried. They're not anything. They're just put down. It's doing a great thing. I mean, a great thing is there's no more drugs, but they're sure killing a lot of people.
He really went to the extreme end of it. And obviously in America, we have a trial. You've got to be proven guilty. You've got to, then you get appeals, and it costs taxpayers, $30,000, $40,000 a year to keep someone in jail. And this guy's like, screw it. We'll spend $22 on a bullet and be done with this guy. You just be done with it.
Yeah, that's about it. So I'm guessing that's probably the reason the whole card was canceled. Because it was, BJ was the name brand on it, but there were some good fights lined up.
You?
Yeah, me. I was hoping they were going to push me onto the main card I was going to be the main event of the undercard, but I was hoping they were going to bump me up.
Man, that's so. Take me through this process. What was who called you to tell you, hey, by the way, this thing is canceled now, you're not going?
Well, Joe Silva called my wife and told her, and then my wife called me and told me. And I was just getting ready. I was making the kids breakfast, and she called and said, your fight's off. I said, what? What happened? I said, well, the whole card's off. I was like, oh, man, it just hurts.
Was there a conversation about, hey, the fight's canceled, but you're still going to get your show money, or was no conversation?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't have a conversation with us. I believe the UFC announced that they're going to, but I'm not sure yet.
So you're in a weird position because you more than likely would have won this fight, which means not only would you got show money, you would have got win money. If they're only going to give you your show money, you end up taking a hit on this fight.
I was going to win that bonus with this one. I was lined up. I was psyched. I was fighting for that bonus this time. It stinks. The UFC did tell us that when I fight again, it will likely be against Alex Nicholson.
Okay.
They said they're not going to guarantee anything, but said it will likely be. That's what they're going to try and do. They're just going to try and move our fight to a different card.
So now you have 9 fights essentially. Tetton with Ricardo Lamas, but he was fighting BJ, so he's got to find a different opponent because BJ's been hurt. Now he's out. But they have 9 fights now, have to switch to different cards. And a lot of the cards are already booked. Like, they're already set up through December almost. Like, they're booked out. What's the timeline they're giving you? They're saying, hey, you're going to fight, January, February? Or they're saying we're going to sneak you on one of these other cards?
They said as soon as possible is what they said, which could mean anything. Me, I think the next card is in November 5th in Mexico. Yeah. I'm hoping I get on that one. I'm ready. I'm going to stay in shape. I'll keep my weight in check. I honestly, I wanted to fight outside of this fight. I wanted to fight at least one more time this year, which probably won't happen now unless someone gets hurt. But I'm just going to keep myself in shape and then hope I get put on a card soon.
Well, that really puts a tough problem in because a lot of these guys are going to get phone calls. Hey, this fight fell out of this card. Can you fight in 2 weeks? So it's like everyone now is supposed to be peaked by October 8th, which is next week. Now they're not going to be peaked for this card. Or I'm sorry, not October 8th, but 12. But no one's going to hold that peak now. Like, how long can you hold that peak performance that you're going to have coming through, for this fight? Like, now they call you in, say they call you in 3 weeks. Are you able to hold that peak for a month and be ready to go to fight the same guy? Like, it becomes very difficult.
It is, but it's a hard sport. It's part of the game, I guess. If I'm not ready, I'm not ready, but I do the best I can to always be ready. My weight is, it's when I start lifting as I start getting bigger. So I've got to be real careful with how much I'm lifting right now. And that's kind of where I'm at. Hopefully, if I get 3 weeks notice, I can make the adjustments. If I get 2 weeks, I can make the adjustments. But it's gonna be tricky. I'm gonna have to do some math. If I have a week's notice, it'd be rough on me. But I'll never say no. I'll never say no. It's just a guarantee on me.
Well, you'll never say no, but will your wife say no? When she gets the phone call and she's like, she handles your career, will she go, hey, look, no, like this, I'm sorry, it's a week away. His weight's not in me right. I'm just saying no, like, and be done with it.
You know what we'd do is she'd come to me and we talk to me and my coaches. We'd see who the opponent is. I mean, if they want me to fight Chris Weidman next week, that might be a fight that she would put her foot down. But again, she would talk to me. She'd talk to my coaches, see where I'm at. Because I really do. I train every day of the year. Whether I've got a fight or no fight. It's just kind of where my weight's at and how I'm feeling that way. So I would love to be able to take a fight on a week's notice. You can put it that way.
How are you the whole rest of the day? Because you said, hey, I got, the wife called you at breakfast. You're making the kids breakfast. You get the phone call. So it's early in the morning, obviously. How are you the rest of the day? Like now, like, holy crap, I really don't have a fight. I'm not packing to go in a couple of days. Like I'm really now kind of in a holding pattern.
It was kind of a funny feeling because I went to the gym with every intention of working out. I said, you know what? I'm going to keep this. I've been working out hard. I'm going to keep going. I got to the gym. We started shadow boxing to get warmed up, and I just lost all motivation. Like, I really don't want to do this right now. And we started pummeling and stuff, and I started feeling, the normal camp stuff starts to hurt a little bit. And I started feeling little creaks and it's like, maybe I'll sit today out. So I just sat and watched practice. And then I got back in that night and I was going to roll. I said, you know what, I'll pick it up again tomorrow. And so yeah, I didn't intend to, but I took the rest of that day off and came back on Friday.
It's a tough mental challenge when you get that phone call and be like, hey, look, fight's done, and you're at the end of the training camp when you're sick of training camp anyway. You're already like, I've had enough of this training camp. I'm ready to fight. Let's make this thing happen. And you're like, oh, by the way, it's not happening. Yeah, motivation is going to be a tough factor trying to come in now to get a practice off. Like, why the hell would you even be in there? Honestly, if it was me, I probably wouldn't even shown up. I would start calling coach. Look, I'm off, man. Like, the fight's not happening. I'll see you guys on Monday. I'm taking Thursday. I'm taking Friday. I'm taking Saturday. I'm taking Sunday off. I'll come back in on Monday, and I'm gonna work on getting refocused because I'm in a holding pattern. We don't know what's going to happen now. 2 weeks, a week, 3 months, 4 months, and we have no idea. I'm putting myself in that holding pattern, but I'm not coming in until Monday. I got to get my head straight, and that's because that's when you get hurt. That's when bad things happen.
Absolutely. That's when I started feeling those little aches and pains that I'm always aware of. I said, you know what? I'm going to hurt myself if I do something. And so I did. I took the rest of that day off. Friday, I didn't do much. Saturday, today, I'm not doing much. I'm going to go in tomorrow, see how I'm feeling, see who's in anyways. And it was a slow week anyways because Hendo was fighting. Half the gym flew to Manchester to watch him fight.
And we had talked before we started recording that you actually wanted to go to Manchester to watch the fight, but then got booked to fight the week after, so you couldn't go. I mean, it's it sounds kind of selfish, but there's a lot of factors that went into this week that really, really screwed you. Like, you could have been in Manchester seeing that fight. You could have been fighting on that card, and now you've got zero.
Yeah, and more than that, the UFC 205, I would love to be there. But I don't want to buy a ticket. I don't want to book a hotel. I don't want to do anything because I might be fighting that weekend or the weekend later. I might not be able to do it. So here in the next few days, my wife will get on the horn with the UFC again and see if we can't get something on paper. I'll see if they're willing to.
I mean, even if it's January, at least have something so you can go, okay, look, and I can go back to non-training camp mode and be back and just being a gym rat again, increasing my technique, increasing my strength and my speed. And I'm going to go to 205 and I'm going to watch the fight and like just be in that space. You can't do that right now. I mean, and this 205 is a huge card. It's a huge card.
Oh yeah. It's so cool. I mean, 200 was okay. I thought it a little underwhelming, but 205 is what 200 should have been. There are some cool matchups and it's at Madison Square Garden. It's a card I would love to just be present for if I couldn't be on it myself.
I got screwed because I got a call from John McCarthy. He's like, hey, there's a pro wrestling assignment I need you to cover in Maui, Hawaii for me because I'm not going this year. talked to JT Steele, the head of Camo in California. So yeah, I'll talk to JT. Right. We got it set up. So I'm reffing that night, fully unaware, totally forgot that the same night is the Madison Square Garden card. That's why John's not in Maui, because he's in New York City. Like, well, man, I was like, oh, thanks, John. I really appreciate you calling me and making me feel, like I'm part of the. I'm like, no, you didn't. You just thumbed me over the other side of the country is what you did. As far away from New York as I could possibly be, you put me in Maui. Like, all right, man, come on.
Well, you can't complain that much. You're going to be in Hawaii.
well, understand too. I live here now, so I'm in Hawaii all the time. Anyway, I'm in Oahu. You just see me so much because I have reffing assignments, so I'm always back on the mainland doing my reffing assignments. I'm always back seeing my kids in Vegas, so I'm always around. So people assume that I'm just kind of bouncing around between LA and Vegas. But no, man, my base right now is Oahu. So like, I can miss one weekend. I can be in New York City for one weekend. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then I do feel worse for you.
Yeah, but I mean, I really feel bad for you because I know how it is, feast or famine. You're only going to get your show money is with the report. They might, the UFC's always been good about sneaking in some extra money in the back, and all of a sudden, you get two checks. One's your show money, and one's not all your win money, but it might be part of your win money. They kind of offset a little bit, and then you get another fight in 2 months. It all of a sudden now you're more than flush. You're ahead of the game, and you win the bonus on the next one. Then you're really ahead of the game. It's like the whole process. But
and that's kind of what I'm psyching myself up for. I said I'm hoping I get the show money. They announced they were going to. They just didn't tell me anything specifically.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping to take that and bounce into a big knockout. Hopefully another bonus. I'm psyching myself up that way. Finding the hope I've got of what could happen and then going that route.
And let's not forget, it hurts you physically and personally and financially. You're getting hurt right now by not having a fight, but the UFC has lost millions of dollars as well. Plane tickets, hotel room, travel, the card, like all the advertisements, all the advertising on the canvas and on television. Like they're losing all this money on top of that. So, and then for them to come out of losing millions of dollars and then going, you know what, I'm going to lose another couple million by paying everybody to show. It's like, well, that's a huge statement.
A lot of the fighters complain about the pay of the UFC. And I said, listen, these guys, I mean, at any moment, the main event could get hurt and you have to cancel the card, and then they're out millions of dollars because one fighter got injured or two fighters got injured. I said, these guys, they pay us well for what we do. At least I feel they do. And it always surprises me how vocal some fighters are about that. When every fight they put on, every fight I've had to this day, I don't know that I've made the UFC that money back yet. I'm working on it, and they're building me, and someday I promise you I'll make them more than they've ever spent on me. I'll be worth every dime, but at this point, I'm still the main event of the undercard kind of guy. They've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on just getting me, my family, my this, my that, to and from events and fighting in front of them. And like I said, I'm going to pay them back. I'm going to become the biggest star the UFC's ever had. And they're gonna make their money off me, but as it is now, I think they're paying me more than fair.
You actually raise an interesting statement. I get asked this question all the time, like how much did you make? I made very little money. I actually left the sport when I stopped fighting. I never really retired. I just stopped taking fights because it was financially, it didn't make any sense. I can make more money doing stunt work and acting. I made way more money in the same time frame of a training camp to a fight in stunt work and acting because there's no reason for me to go fight. The UFC made a lot more money on me than I made off them, for sure. That's because my fights with Hughes, and that's just how it worked out at the end. Now 10 years later, it's like, oh yeah, like the Hall of Fame, it's become a thing. But all of us, I really think the guys at the bottom end deserve $1 million. If you're fighting on a UFC card anywhere from the very beginning, Facebook or a Fight Pass prelim card, you should be getting $1 million, and it should go up from there. Like I really believe that. But you don't get that money. That's not what you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. And negotiate a fair price for you, understand the nature of the business and what they're spending. Most fighters don't get that. They think, I should be getting more money. I should be getting more money. Well, let's talk about the $500,000 I spent on advertising you 3 fights ago, and you lost. Let's talk about that. So we paid you a little bit of money, but you still owe us another $450,000. Like you're already in debt to us that much just from advertising, not transportation, not the signing stuff. Not like you owe them money still. So it's like you're one of the smart guys that understands. There's a big thing that goes into this marketing. Why is Conor McGregor getting so much power right now in the UFC? Because he's bringing in that much money. He's bringing in that many seats. Love him or hate him, doesn't make a difference. He's bringing in money, and as a result, he gets paid more, and he's still bringing them in more money than he's getting paid. And we've seen the numbers. So understand how much he's bringing in. How many butts are you selling? How many seats are you selling? That's the question. That's what happens.
Right. Yeah. And someday I will sell out an arena myself. I mean, I'll be GSP kind of big. I promise you. I'm working my way to it, but I'm not there yet. Every fight I have, I'm going to do a little bit more to get there. And I will make that UFC more money than they're paying me. It's a big goal of mine.
I forget you're only 30 years old. You've been fighting professionally since 2008. In that time frame, you've amassed a 28-8 record. Like, that's an incredible record in that short period of time. You love to fight. You fight all the time. And when you say you're in the gym, you really are in the gym all the time. You're not one of those guys like, hey, I'm going to take 3 weeks off. You got a wife and kids, man. You come home, you go back to the gym. You might watch practice for a couple, 3-4 days, but you're still going to warm up, still going to pump a little bit. You're not going to go hard after a hard fight, but you're going to be right back in the gym. And that is really a testament to, and that's why GSP was so good, because he did the exact same thing. And I really do believe at some point you're going to be that wholesome, all shucks, Forrest Griffin style fighter that everyone's going to want to see fight and just always going to love you because you're not controversial. You call people out, but you do it in a respectful way. You don't do crazy stuff and throw water bottles and piss people off. So it's going to take a longer time if you get to that space. But once you get there, you're going to hold it for a long time too. I really do firmly believe that. I really do think that's going to happen.
No, I appreciate it because that is, I mean, without trying, that's what I plan on doing. And then when I try, it'll just get there faster, hopefully.
Yeah, man, I feel bad for you. It's been a great. You've had a great training camp from everybody I talked to. An amazing preparation for this fight, and now it's got to be put on hold. And now you're not 100% positive to be the same guy. You might have to switch up, which means it could be a totally different training camp, getting ready for somebody new because they have a totally different style.
Yeah, it could be. On the good side, with Dan Henderson fighting just recently, he's going to be in the gym more now, and he'll be able to help put together the training camps more so than ever before because he's always had a fight coming up or something on the back burner, and so that I think will definitely help having that official head coach position filled constantly now.
You saw the fight last night, I'm sure.
I did.
How did you score it? How did you see it?
Oh, I don't want to say it out loud. I'm not as disappointed with the judges' decisions as the rest of the internet is. I would understand if it went towards Dan, but I understand that it didn't also.
And I agree with you. And I was drinking and had people running in front of the TV. And I'm watching it at home, and I had it scored 48-47 for Dan. And when they read the scores, I looked at all three judges' scorecards. I'm like, hey, all those guys, that's their job. They're sitting right there cake side. They weren't drinking. They weren't being distracted. They weren't having people talk to them, in the middle of it. And all three guys had to go for Bisping. I'm completely wrong, and they're completely right. And that's how it goes. Because unless I sit down with the TV on, plug my ears from all the background noise, and just watch the fight, otherwise I'm not really a judge. I don't know what's really going on. So I had no problem with it. And I have no problem being wrong in that.
Right.
Of course, when it comes to Dan, I'm biased anyway.
Yeah. No, and that's I was trying to watch it as unbiasedly as I could, but it's Dan Henderson. He's my friend. He's my coach. Yeah. I was really hoping those judges were going to give it to him.
Well, all he needed was one more good H-bomb, and the fight would have been over anyway. So,
one more. At the very least, Bisping looks like he's been in a fight. Dan looks okay today.
He got the crap beat out of him. Bisping did. And look how tough that kid is. Like, he got smashed up and was able to come back from an H-bomb, survive, lose that first round, come back in, questionable second round, win 3 and 4 decisively, and depending on who you talk to, wins the fifth as well. Amazing that he did. And understand, he's a fluke champion. He was just the only one available when Rockhold needed an opponent, and Rockhold came in, and he got caught by what we all thought was a fluke. He came in and just smashed this guy up real quick. Now he's beat Dan Henderson and let's be honest, took about 6 heavy H-bombs, 4 of them flush clean, would have knocked anybody else out, and he got up and came after it. So you have to give props to Michael Bisping. You have to.
Oh, absolutely. I thought it was a great fight more than anything. I really enjoyed it as a fight more than just Dan being in it. I thought it was a great fight. I liked this. I liked the idea of what Bisping was doing for all 5 rounds. I thought he came in a little flat-footed and he got caught and he corrected, which is hard to do. Just training with Dan, I've been hit with him before, and it's hard to come back and even a round later and go with him again.
What a way for a guy to retire. Win, lose, draw didn't make a difference. We all knew he was out. This is the end of it. And he didn't go in there and check in. He didn't go in there I'm just going to go in here for a little bit and then get in a bad position and tap out due to strikes. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to fight my ass off. The forward roll at the end, trying to do the rainbow kick was a little stupid, but Other than that, you're like, what a great way to retire. Like, what a great way for him to be out of the way. It's an amazing career, Hall of Famer for sure. You're about to have, you've known it forever, but you're about to have a Hall of Fame coach now in there every day, and probably an argument for the best American fighter of all time. Like, there's a real good argument for that, because he was winning Pride, was winning Strikeforce in the heydays of both organizations, and then came over to UFC and was at the top of the game in the heyday of the UFC. So what an amazing track.
Yeah, I've been telling everyone. He said if he wins that title, guaranteed he's the GOAT. If he doesn't win the title, you could still argue that he's the GOAT. Yeah,
for sure. Sam, thanks so much for coming on here on a Sunday. I appreciate it. I know it's family day. And I know taking some time with me is sometimes kind of a burden, because you got to put the family aside for 20, 25 minutes. I appreciate you coming through, especially when you're out of fight camp mode. Now you're in that let's relax a little bit. Let's celebrate a little bit more. Let's hang out with the kids a little bit more kind of thing. So I appreciate it. I really do.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on. And hopefully as soon as my fights gets lined up again, we'll be able to come back on and talk about it.
I'll be honest with you, it'd be great to have 2 interviews for you pop off in 1 week. One of the disappointment of no fight, and then one for the announcement for a new fight. So.
I'll tell my wife to get on it.
I like how you think. Thanks, Sam, so much, man. Talk to you soon, man. Have a great rest of your day.
I will talk to you later, sir.